Hi everybody, Preston Johnson here with the American Masters Bowling Tour. We are at Taylor Lanes in Taylor, Michigan. We just finished up the tournament and I'm proud to present our Scratch Division champion, the world famous, everybody in Michigan knows this name, and he's finally an American Masters champion, Mr. Mason Brantley. Mason.
There you go, Mason. Great bowling.
We've been trying to get Mason out here for a while. This season was his first time actually joining the American Masters, and I've bowled with Mason about 3 to 5 years ago, somewhere around there in the league. And I used to watch him bowl and like, my God, he's a natural. And I wanted to see what he would do on a competitive shot, a really tough condition. And it's unbelievable. His stats, we're going to get into your stats in a little bit, but I'm so proud that you actually came out and bowled with us today. You had a couple of options, but tell us why you came out today to the American Masters.
Today I look more so at trying to get my game fixed up. We have a big City Masters tournament coming up, and also I want to bowl the U.S. Open in Jersey in February. Okay. So I'm looking for some really tough conditions to find out where I'm at physically. Okay. The past few months I've been working on my mental game a lot, and mentally I feel like I'm at the peak of my game. I just think that I would like to see where I fit up physically when the shots are more demanding and see exactly where I'm standing right now. Yeah.
And I follow you on Facebook quite a bit, and like I said, you're in just about every tournament that's out there, no matter where it is. You'll drive, you'll compete in it because you really like to fine-tune your game. Absolutely. You're a dedicated practicer. You know, you're always out there. You drill your own equipment. I mean, it's phenomenal. But your game is so smooth. How did you learn? Tell us about how you learned to. Man, if I could just come out the ball just halfway as clean, man, I'd be happy. You know.
My dad taught me the fundamentals of the game. My parents did, and my dad was very, very hard on me coming up in the youth league. So he showed me a lot about the fundamentals of the game. But all my life, I've always worked in the bowling center.
Got it. Okay.
Ever since I was 12, I had a job working as a pin jumper in a bowling center. So through working with old equipment and stuff I find on the rack that half fits and just try to bowl with it, and then you watch other bowlers and you mimic it. Right. And that's how I produce Mason Brantley.
It's unbelievable. If you haven't watched, go on YouTube. I'm sure there's somebody that is videotaped you. I know you put a couple of your practice sessions on Facebook and so forth. But let's talk about the tournament. So you came out today. You were second high qualifier. Did you think you were doing as well as you were doing? Because I got here about the end of the first game. We were kind of chit-chatting a little bit. And I was watching your face, and it looked like you were just, if I would have looked at your score based on your face, I would have thought you were doing terrible. But when I saw the final sheet come in, you were doing really well. So what was going on? You were talking about your middle game. What was going on today?
I felt like the scores were good enough to reach at least 220, 230 a game, and I kept finishing games around 2-0, 2-0. And I was getting a little flustered with trying to keep up with the pace. I just felt like the pace was a little bit more ahead than what I was scoring. Okay. I knew the shot would come, but the key was just to stay in the tournament, find a way to get to 220 to 230 to keep me in the tournament. I knew I could win. Yes. I just had to find a way to stay in the tournament.
Exactly. Now, you were on a pair, I think you were bowling with Mark Lobdell, and was Lonnie on your pair also?
Lonnie Jones, yep.
So the top guys, if you will, in American Masters and good bowlers were on your pair, so that probably put a lot of pressure on you as well.
Absolutely.
And Lonnie turned out to be the high qualifier. So you made it through match play or qualifying. What was your toughest game in qualifying? Any particular game?
I would have to say the first game as well as the second game was. The third game I shot 194, and I felt like that was probably the easiest pair that I let get away.
Really?
Yeah. And the first two games I had a problem. I had the wrong ball in my hand, I felt. And I also was using the wrong thumb pitch. I used the turbo switch grips. Okay. And I needed to stay in the ball a little bit longer, so I changed pitches and actually changed balls and started to move in a little bit.
Okay. So for the folks that are more into the technical side of your game, since you drill your own equipment, tell us about the balls that you were using and how they were laid out.
I started out with a Brunswick Diamondback as well as a Wild Card. And they were the right balls. They ended up being the right balls, but they had the wrong thumb pitch. All right. The layouts I use on both of them are tall 4-inch pins from Axis, as well as I believe the wild card, I drilled it at a 75-degree angle.
Okay.
And the Diamondback, I drilled at a 55-degree angle.
Okay.
Both of them give me an inside look. The Diamondback spins off the mid lane a little bit harder.
Gotcha.
The wild card back end's a lot stronger.
So which one did you ultimately end up using?
To get me in the round, or when the tournament?
In the qualifying.
I used the Diamondback.
Okay, and then when you got into match play, because the way we ended up doing the tournament today, we did a stair step. Okay, as opposed to match play individuals. So you only had to bowl 2 games because you were a second high qualifier.
Right.
So what ball did you end up using
the wild card?
Okay.
Once I went down to the other end and started working out on the warm up pair, I saw that the wild card was going to give me a little bit more forgiveness on the back end, where the Diamondback would probably be perfect, but if I missed down lane, it was going to be bad.
Okay. Now, we normally talk about the pattern. We use the pattern called the Newt. It's a 39-foot pattern and probably about medium volume, I guess it seemed like. And our cut score today was a plus 26. And I do want to give a shout out to Lonnie Jones. He bowled phenomenal today. He was a high qualifier today. I don't have his scores here. You were second. Abed did great today. And then Alan Pittman. And frankly, all of you guys would Abed has actually won a tournament before with us, but everybody else would have been brand new. And Alan was bowling phenomenal. In fact, I was watching that particular match. That was your first match, and I mean, you all were ball for ball, spare for spare, right there. And everybody knows, don't give Mason an open. If you give him a chance, he's going to jump all over you. And he threw a baby split in the 9th frame, if I'm not mistaken. And I was thinking, okay, if he gets a spare, he might have a chance, and he chopped it. And then he just, after that, it was pretty much over after that.
Right. Yeah. I've had a couple of tournaments where I thought I had matches locked, and I've had some bad luck in the past few months. And so that kind of sat in my mind, too. And that's why I opted to go last, too, because I wanted to see, again, where I'm at mentally and physically. So everything was a test in order to win this tournament today. So however it came out, I was happy with the way I performed. But I always felt I could win if I kept myself under control.
Now, let's talk about the final match between you and Lonnie. Again, you were bowling with him in qualifying, so you knew what kind of game he had anyway.
Right.
You've known him forever.
Right.
You all have bowled against each other in lots of different tournaments. So what was going on mentally and physically in the final match? Were you nervous? Were you like, I know I can beat Lonnie, or I got to watch out? What was in your head? What was going on?
Again, I just wanted to keep myself under control.
Okay.
Lonnie is a phenomenal bowler, and I knew that as long as I kept some sort of pressure on him and kept the game alive, it would have been a great game in regards to what happened. But like I said, my new rule now for 2011 is I can't really own what somebody else is doing.
Bingo.
I have to keep myself as mentally sharp and under control. And I sat down, I had a long conversation with Abed, and he made mention that it just seems like sometimes I get in the way of myself sometimes. And I think I do that more so because I worry about what the other guy is doing in comparison to what I got.
And it's like the old expression goes, there's no defense in bowling.
Absolutely.
Okay. All you can do is throw the ball the best you can and get the best reaction possible. It doesn't matter what the other guy is doing. And if the other guy is worrying about you, then he's at a loss, because if you keep doing what you're doing, you're going to win.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. We're going to take a quick break.
Power and control are the two most important features a bowling ball must possess. The new Buzzsaw bowling ball redefines these vital qualities. The diamond-shaped weight block increases revolution without sacrificing accuracy, as the Buzzsaw literally cuts through the pocket. The new Buzzsaw bowling ball, a cut above the rest. Now available at Area Pro Shops.
Hi folks, sitting here with Mason Brantley, the world famous Mason Brantley. He's our scratch division champion here at Taylor Lanes. Mason,
there you go, baby.
We were actually just kind of recapping how the day went for you, and we've been wanting you to be out here for a while, and you came out here and won a tournament in classic Mason Brantley style, and I was impressed. Tell us a little bit about Mason now. We kind of talked about the day in the game and so forth. Tell us a little bit about yourself. This is your first time on camera with us. Married, kids, what do you do for a living, all that good stuff.
I have a girlfriend. We've been together now for six going on 7 years. They are the they're my everything. They keep me focused. They allow me to go bowl.
Does she have a name?
Oh, I'm sorry. Sharice Larry.
Okay.
Sharice Larry. Yeah, that's my sweetheart, and she's really been behind me, and as well as my stepson Jonathan. They have been a very, very great support in my career thus far. I love to bowl, but also I love the game of bowling. And it's a difference in today's game as far as loving the game and loving the money and the winning of the game. I feel like as long as I'm competing, I'm going to make money.
There you go. Yeah.
I love the sport of the game. And I always have since I was a kid. I used to bowl with my hand and toilet tissue rolls and Faygo bottles and a softball in the basement. I mean, I've bowled all my life.
And it's nice to be able to do something that you love and love doing it.
Right.
Yeah. Now you work at Plum Hollow?
Right, Plum Hollow Lanes in Southfield, Michigan.
Okay.
I also drill balls out of there with J&J Bowling Trophy as well as Top Shelf Bowling Trophy Sales, which is owned by John Putty.
All right.
And I've been drilling balls now for about going on 7 years now.
Excellent, excellent.
And I've got training through Lou Marquez on how to do different drilling angles, and he's helped me a lot with my pitches and getting the knowledge of just doing the basic drill patterns and stuff. So,
excellent.
and that's really helped my game a lot too.
Outstanding. Well, Mason, I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
I've been a fan of yours for quite some time. Like I said, I remember that one league it was at Thunderbolt when they were doing the Tuesday league.
Yeah.
That was the first time I heard of the name, but I hadn't seen you, and that's why I met you and Lonnie and a lot of the other guys. And I used to watch you, and this guy is unbelievable. You know?
I appreciate
and
that.
your game has gotten better since then.
I appreciate
It's
that.
amazing. So we're going to hear great things about you. Are you in the Hall of Fame already in Michigan?
Not
Hall of Fame?
yet, not yet. I'm hoping they give me the nod.
And when we take a little sheet about our bowlers and so forth, and I looked at this and I was like, this is unbelievable. You have over 300 games. You have over 50 800 series. You got more ABC awards than anybody can count. It's unbelievable, man.
I've just been blessed,
Yeah.
and like I said, I never take advantage of a blessing, and God's been good to me. So I just try to stay humble and always stay open to learn something new.
Yeah. Well, the only thing that you didn't have in your credentials was an American Masters title.
I'm so happy to finally get one. It's hard to get one, folks.
Exactly.
It's really hard to get one out here.
Now, the one thing that I always ask the bowlers before we let you guys go, and you in particular, it makes a difference, but you could always bowl on a house shot in any other tournament, okay? But you chose to come here today, all right? For people that are trying to improve their game in particular, okay, why bowl on a tough condition like this versus bowling on a house shot?
Because it's today's game. It's where the pro shop is. It's where the business is going to grow again. People are bored with the sport, honestly.
Yes.
And the reason being is because they feel deep down inside that everybody can just wake up one day and become a bowler. I think in my heart that if we make more tournaments that have more demanding patterns, as well as even some leagues that can mix some things up,
Exactly right.
I think it will restore the fun as well as the knowledge of the game.
And the quality of the sport.
Right. It's going to increase the coaching level. It's going to increase open bowling lineage. It's going to increase leagues. It's going to create leagues. And I just think that that's what this sport needs. It's got to go in this direction.
Exactly.
In order to save it.
One more question, and then I'm going to move to the main event, if you will. When you bowl in a tournament and you're constantly shooting 260s, 270s, and you're barely making the cut, or you don't make the cut, versus shooting today where you were averaging probably 220, 210-ish, and so forth. How does it make you feel? You had a lower score,
right,
okay, on a tougher condition versus bowling on a relatively easy pattern and shooting great and not doing well. Tell me how that feels from your perspective.
I honestly feel like it can go hand in hand. You can call it a house shot and you can call it a sport pattern. The bottom line is you got to be mentally and physically prepared to score.
Exactly.
It's gonna, if it takes 2-0 to make cut, that's what it takes. If it takes 270 to make cut, that's what it takes. If it takes -10, it's somebody that it's a big majority of people that are not going to make the cut.
Yes, exactly right.
And so you don't want to be that person that doesn't make the cut.
That's an interesting approach.
So I just feel like it's we can say all patterns and we can say all house shots, but people have got to be mentally and physically able to bowl.
Excellent.
And I think that's going to be key. And I think the way that you get the good when you get it is you bowl on the tougher patterns.
Exactly.
You practice on the tougher patterns. You look for the tougher patterns. So when they give you the cake, you know how to eat it.
There you go. All righty. Well, Mason, you came here to win a tournament. That's exactly what you did. I'm so proud to present to you the first place prize fund, $500.
Thank you.
Okay. And then a lot of our bowlers, they're not sure what the Eagle's Nest is. And what the Eagle's Nest is our version of a progressive jackpot. You come to the tournament, you pay your normal fee. You pay an additional fee to get into the Eagle's Nest. If you make it through qualifying, make it through match play, sit in this chair, you get the Eagle's Nest. So you were smart enough to get into the Eagle's Nest, so I got roughly $130 for you. So
I appreciate that.
Not too bad.
Thank you.
But more importantly, you are American Master Champion, and I've got a little
right
trophy
there.
for you. This is why you came today. Folks, this is Mason Brantley's first American Masters title. Mason, I'm so proud of you. Now, we have something called the Hall of Fame. Okay? We need you in the American Masters Hall of Fame, but you know how to do that? Gotta win a few more of these, okay? So you gotta come back, man.
Thank you.
All right. Folks, this is Mason Brantley, our Scratch Division champion here today at Taylor Lanes, folks.
There you go, Mason.
Thank you.